A few years ago, someone sent me this map of the United States, and at first glance, it doesn't look like anything special, but there is actually a lot going on here that can teach us a very important lesson about how to build wealth. This map is called the Millionaire Map, and the colors here represent the percentage of millionaires. In each county, the darker the color, the more millionaires. So what do you notice? What stands out to you? What can we learn from this map? Well, the first thing I noticed is that the richest counties tend to be clustered together and located along the coasts, especially the West Coast. For example, all of these California counties with the darkest blue, representing over 80% of the population being millionaires, are grouped together in the San Francisco Bay Area and the coastal counties south of San Francisco. Similarly, many of the richest counties in New York are located right along the coast or just inland, such as Nassau County, which has a whopping 37.9% of its population being millionaires. It is home to some of the most expensive real estate in the country, with the median home price exceeding $1 million. Now, if we shift our focus to the southern states, we see another cluster of dark blue counties in Miami-Dade County, Florida, which has one of the highest concentrations of millionaires in the nation. Many of these same counties have the highest percentage of multimillionaires, people with a net worth of $1 million or more. For example, Marin County, California, which includes the city of Tiburon, has the highest percentage of multimillionaires of any county in the United States, with 14.5% of its population having a net worth of $1 million or more. Other counties with high concentrations of multimillionaires include San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, and Miami. In fact, when you look at where most of the ultra-wealthy individuals live, it's mostly coastal cities. Take a look at this map showing the distribution of billionaires in the United States. As you can see, the vast majority of billionaires live in just a handful of counties along the coasts, particularly in California and New York. So why do you think so many millionaires and billionaires live in coastal areas? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, but before we go into my thoughts on this, if you're getting value from today's video, please hit the like button. It helps others to find this video and it signals to YouTube that you appreciate the work that we are doing here. Thank you so much. My channel is all about helping you to build wealth by understanding how the wealthy build their wealth, and one of the most common ways that the wealthy build their wealth is through real estate. This is why it is so important to understand this millionaire map, because it shows us where real estate is the most valuable. One reason for this is that coastal properties tend to be more scarce, meaning there is limited supply. Since there is less land available along the coast compared to the interior, it makes sense that coastal properties would be more expensive because demand is higher. This is reflected in the prices of homes in these areas, which are typically much higher than those in less desirable areas. Another factor is that coastal areas often have better access to jobs and amenities. For example, many major companies are headquartered in coastal cities such as San Francisco and New York because they want to be close to airports and shipping routes. In addition, coastal cities often have more cultural attractions, entertainment options, and fine dining restaurants, which can make them more appealing to high net worth individuals. But perhaps the biggest factor driving up property values in coastal areas is the allure of the beach. People are willing to pay a premium for the privilege of living near the ocean. This is because coastal properties offer a unique lifestyle that is highly desirable to many people. Living by the sea provides opportunities for recreation, such as swimming, surfing, and boating, as well as access to fresh seafood and beautiful views. This is why coastal properties often command top dollar, because they offer something that cannot be replicated elsewhere. Many people dream of living in a coastal area, but it is simply not feasible due to the cost of real estate. However, thanks to technology, we now have access to data that reveals the true value of coastal properties. By analyzing the Millionaire Map, we can gain insights into where real estate is the most valuable and why. We can Also see how factors such as location, job opportunities, and lifestyle all contribute to making certain areas so expensive. I believe that this knowledge is essential for anyone looking to invest in real estate. If you're thinking about buying a vacation home or retiring near the coast, it's important to understand the market and be prepared to pay top dollar for it. But it's not just about the beach. Coastal properties often come with other benefits as well. For example, there is a growing trend among wealthy individuals to purchase waterfront homes as a hedge against rising sea levels. This is because as sea levels rise, beachfront property becomes more scarce and therefore more valuable. Many experts predict that this trend will continue in the coming years, making coastal investments even more attractive. However, it's important to remember that investing in coastal real estate does carry some risks. Natural disasters such as hurricanes and floods can cause significant damage to properties in coastal areas. Therefore, it's important to do your research and assess the risks before making an investment. Another risk to consider is the potential for increased regulation. Many coastal areas are currently considering new regulations that would limit development and restrict access to the beach. These regulations could potentially impact the value of coastal properties in the future. Therefore, it's important to stay informed about any changes in local policies that could affect your investment overall. Investing in coastal real estate can be a great way to build wealth, but it's important to understand both the opportunities and risks involved. By doing your research and assessing the market carefully, you can make an informed decision about whether or not coastal real estate is right for you. Now let's take a look at another map. This one shows the average home price by county, and when we compare it to the Millionaire Map, we can see that the most expensive places happen to align almost perfectly with where the most millionaires live. This isn't surprising since the typical millionaire has built their wealth largely through real estate appreciation. Take a look at this chart showing the average home price in the United States over the past 50 years. You can see that home prices have been steadily increasing since 1970, but they really started to take off after the year 2000. This is due to a number of factors, including low interest rates, easy credit, and the belief that real estate values always go up. However, the biggest factor has been the increasing demand for housing in the United States. As the population of the U.S. has grown, so has the demand for housing. This has caused home prices to rise steadily over the years, but the supply of housing hasn't kept pace with demand. In fact, the U.S. is currently facing a major housing shortage, which is contributing to the high prices. According to Freddie Mac, the U.S. is short about 7.8 million homes. This means that buyers are competing for a limited number of homes, which is driving up prices even further. It's unclear how long this trend will continue, but it's possible that home prices could continue to rise for several more years. Here's why. A recent article from Business Insider highlights 3 reasons why. First, the 10-year Treasury yield is currently at 4.7%, which is the highest level since late 2007. When interest rates are low, it's cheaper to finance a home, which increases demand and drives up prices, but when interest rates are high, affordability declines, which can lead to lower prices. Second, mortgage applications have fallen to a 10-year low as rising interest rates and tighter lending standards make it more difficult to qualify for a mortgage. This decrease in demand could help to ease upward pressure on prices. And third, builders are taking advantage of higher interest rates by building more expensive homes. This could help to alleviate the housing shortage to some extent, but it could also keep upward pressure on prices. It's impossible to say for sure how the housing market will perform in the coming years, but it is clear that home prices have been steadily increasing and there is no indication that this trend will change anytime soon. The factors that have driven up home prices in the past, such as low interest rates and increasing demand, are still present today. However, the housing shortage is likely to persist for several more years, which could keep upward pressure on prices. So if you're thinking about buying a home, you should expect to pay a premium, especially if you want to live in a desirable coastal area. Now, some people might be thinking, well, this is just the way things are and there's nothing we can do to change it, but I don't think that's true. If we zoom out and look at the big picture, we can see that the housing shortage isn't evenly distributed across the country. In fact, the biggest shortages are in the same areas where the most millionaires and billionaires live. This shouldn't be surprising since these are also the areas where the most economic activity takes place. After all, these are the areas where most of the jobs are located, and jobs are what allow people to earn money and buy homes. So what can we do to fix this problem? Well, one solution is to build more housing in these areas. But as we all know, it can be very difficult to get approval for new construction projects, especially in desirable coastal areas. There are often strong opposition from local residents who do and want to see more development in their neighborhoods, but it's important to remember that the benefits of new housing developments can outweigh the costs. Not only will it help to alleviate the current housing shortage, but it will also create jobs and generate tax revenue that can be used to fund public services. Another solution is to make it easier for people to purchase homes. One way to do this is to lower interest rates, which would make mortgages more affordable for potential buyers. Another approach is to reduce the amount of paperwork and bureaucracy involved in the home buying process. By making it simpler and faster to buy a home, more people would be able to enter the market, and this would help to bring down prices. Ultimately, it will take a combination of solutions to fix the current housing crisis, but it's possible, and if we're willing to work together, we can create more affordable housing for everyone. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel and check out my free newsletter. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.